All right, so solve the right triangle. Shown in the figure. For all unknown sides and angles. Okay, so what they do is they give you one angle and the fact that it's a right triangle and they give you one side. So these will all be different. They might give you two angles or two sides, whatever. So they want you to find all the sides. So what I want you to do is just start by building a triangle. So they like to call the right angle C. Opposite side will always be the lowercase c. Capital A will be over here, so lowercase will be opposite to that. B is up top, so lowercase is opposite to that. Okay. So we need to find A, B, C. So we got A, so that's easy. We don't have C, or we don't have B. But since this is a right triangle, C has to be 90, right? By definition. Now, if you also know that the sum of all angles of a triangle is going to be 180 degrees, right? So B has to be the difference from 180 of the other two angles. So what is B going to be? Yeah.
30.
Okay. Yeah, 30. That's right. So we got all the sides. Great. There are the angles. So now we need the sides. So little a, little b, little c. All right. We have little c, so that's good. So at this point, we start using our definitions of sine, cosine, tangent to find the missing parts. Let's see here. It doesn't matter which trig function you use, just use whatever you think is easier or you're comfortable with. I want to find A. So if I want to find A, I can either use one of these angles, and then I'd have to use a hypotenuse, if I choose cosine or secant, right? So if I choose cosine, let's say B, cosine of B, that would equal to opposite, adjacent, sorry. Yeah. So B's up here, right? So adjacent to this particular angle is this A here. So let me just go ahead and write adjacent first over hypotenuse. So this means that cosine of 30 degrees is equal to A over C, which is A over 12. So we use this equation to solve for A. All right, so excuse me. So this will be, go ahead and start working right here. The little in between step was unnecessary. I just want you to see that that's opposite hypotenuse, right? So multiply both sides by 12. Both sides by 12. So 12 cosine of 30 is equal to A. So there is A. Okay, so now we need our calculator, right? Finally charged my graphing calculator. So that will simply be, oops, guess I got cleared. Who cares? 12 cosine 30. 12 cosine 30. I don't know if I am in degrees. I am not. There you go. It says around 2 decimal places, so I'm going to round to 10.39. So we got A, 10.39. Are there any questions on what we did or what we're trying to do? And all they gave us is this information here and a triangle, a general picture of a triangle. So we had to figure all this out ourselves. So we have an A and a C. So technically you could do Pythagorean theorem to find B, but I'm going to stick with the trig functions just because. So I'm going to use cosine of capital A to find the missing B because it's adjacent. So cosine of capital A is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, which is equal to B over C. Let me write a little better this time. So that means cosine of A is 60 degrees. That's equal to the thing I'm looking for over 12. So multiply both sides by 12 and you'll end up solving for B equal to 12 cosine 60. I skipped an algebra step this time. So that is approximately something. Looks like 6.
6.
Yeah. Cool. I like when they come out pretty. All right. Then we got all the pieces, right? We got the 3 sides and the 3 angles. That's all you have to do. And you can do that in many different ways. You can use tangent, secant, sine, whatever the hell you want to do. I chose cosine because it was going to be the shortest amount of steps. To see, as you can see, right, it was just one algebra step. That's why I chose cosine. If you would have chosen something else, you might have been an couple extra steps, but it probably would have worked anyway. Doesn't really matter. Any questions on number 1, problem 5? Let me show you what it looks like. So this is the question, number 5. They give you this and the general triangle. You gotta fill in the missing pieces. Number 6 is the same thing. This time they give me a capital B and a little b. They do not give me hypotenuse. So I think you'll probably want to find hypotenuse first. But since it's a right triangle, you can always, once you have one angle, you can always find all 3 right away. Let's see if there's any. This is A and C. These are all the same. You guys want to do one more of these, or should we move on to a word problem? On the test, I want to see you solve for each side and angle, just like we did on the paper here, right? So I solve for B here. I'll solve for A here. And the angles are pretty easy right there. This is more than enough. enough work, I mean. Oh, how did we do on the test? I'm sorry. I thought you said, how do we do this on the test? Forgive me. I can't read. I haven't graded yet. I've yet to even look at them. I'll let you know soon. I'm currently grading another class since yours I think yours just closed, right? So
Yesterday.
okay. And if anyone has any, let me know or send me an email if anyone had any issues or if you needed a little more time. It's not a big deal. Assuming there's a reason for it, if you ask for it.
Can I try to do the review again?
You can, although did you already do the test?
Yes.
I mean, it's good for you, but I kind of would have preferred you did it before the test. Yeah, I think it's still open. I don't think it closes. You can keep doing that as many times as you want. I think there's maybe a limit of 10 times.
Well, if anything, I'll figure out which browser works for it.
Yeah, let me know what's going on with that. Sorry that happened.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm used to it.
Are all the assignments due October 2nd? I noticed that that's what it says on there.
I picked well, actually, I don't know what. Let me look at it. One sec. I think I did that for the first chapter, right? Or first set of homeworks. No, actually, it looks like all of them. Let me double check. Huh, how weird. Oh no, the other ones haven't started yet, it looks like. And to answer your question, yeah, I'm going to adjust that as soon as possible. They will not all close on the 2nd, especially stuff we haven't talked about.
All right, sir.
So, but can you leave the stuff we have done open till the 2nd, at least?
Yeah, that's fine. No worries.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I'll adjust all the dates soon. So it'll take me some time to mess with that. I don't want to use up too much time right now. But yeah, I'll go ahead and move everything a little further past the 2nd, and the rest will pick a better date for chapter 7. Okay. What was I? Oh yeah, the word problems. So you guys want to do one more triangle problem, or should we move on to some word problems? Did that make sense? Okay. Oh, let's do one more and then we'll move on. Example 2, problem 6. Solve the triangle. Solve the triangle shown. I don't know what's wrong with my writing today. So we don't know A. They did give us capital B. We do not know, well, It's a right triangle, so that's implied. Little a is not given. B is 6. Little c is something. Yeah, my c's look the same, but please know this is capital C. You can put a bar in it if you want. All right. All they give us is those pieces plus a picture of a triangle. Okay. So since it's a right angle, we know this is going to be 90. If B is 25 and C is 90, what does A have to be to complete 180 degrees?
$65.
Yeah, it looks like 65. And if you weren't sure, you can always subtract the two angles from 180, which will be, yeah, 65. Okay, so we got 3 angles now. So we can use any trig function that we want. This is our decision. Let's find little a. And I will choose sine this time for no reason. So sine of capital B is equal to, so I'm choosing this angle for sine. That was my decision. You could have chosen any angle because we have all 3 angles. Doesn't matter. This is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which is equal to B over C, right? Opposite to capital B is right there. Hypotenuse is over there. So that implies that sine of 25 is equal to 6 over C. At this point, you could do that whole cross multiplication or whatever, or take a reciprocal of both sides. I don't really care how you think about it. If you take the reciprocal, or if you do, right, if you flip both sides, multiply both sides by 6. We get C. So C is equal to 6 over sine 25 degrees. Yeah, it looks like oh, capital B is 25. We're good. Okay, so let's calculate what the heck C is, little c. So 6 divided by sine 25. So it's approximately squiggly equals 14.1. Actually, it round to 220. All right, so we got a little c now.
Sir?
Mhm.
Wait a second. If you multiply by 6 on one side and you didn't have to multiply by 6 on the other side?
Yeah, both sides right here.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need to. You're right. Otherwise, we're cheating, right? Okay. So we got lowercase. Now we need lowercase a. Now we'll use cosine for no reason. Cosine of B is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, which is equal to A over C. So cosine of 25 degrees is equal to A over 14.2, right? Oops, not on the screen there. Solve for A, multiply both sides by 14.2. Skip a small step here. A would be equal to 14.2 cosine of 25 degrees, which is approximately something. $12.87. So we got all three sides and all three angles. This making sense?
Right now it is.
This section is a lot more practical. This section in the next chapter, I think. It's a lot more visual. Okay. Any questions on number 2? We're going to move on to word problems now. All right, let me show you the word problem. This is number 9. So number 9 says the sun is 25 degrees above the horizon. Okay, so that means an elevation of 25. That's what this means. So I'm if I look towards the sun from the ground, there it is. Find the length of the shadow cast by a building that is 100 feet tall. Round your answer to 2 decimal places. Okay. What trig function would be perfect to find the length of the shadow? This shadow is right here, right? The sun's over here, therefore this is the shadow. Yeah, tan would work. Tan would be opposite over adjacent. So we just need to solve for the adjacent side. Yeah, tan's good. Is there any other function that would work? Because the other ones you could use whatever you wanted, but can we do whatever we want on this one? Let me switch back after I draw this picture. So this is all we really need. If they didn't give us a picture, it's a horrible triangle. We would need to, figure everything out if they didn't give us the picture. But since we have it, I don't need the paragraph. So we want to find, we'll call it, I don't know, X, I guess. So tan of 25 degrees is equal to the opposite side over adjacent, right? So that means that tangent of 25 degrees is equal to 100 over that mystery shadow thing. So now just flip both sides over and take the reciprocal. So 1/10. Right. X over 100. Now solve for X. Multiply both sides by X, or by 100, sorry. 100. Let me write that better. So these cancel. So X will equal 100 over 1025. So I'm hoping that is 214 feet or so. Any questions on the algebra? Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Okay, let's go do another one. Number 10 is the same thing, except they do not give you a picture. So you'll have to draw the triangle. This is the same wording they used earlier, right? 25 degrees, 26 degrees. Linked to the shadow of a statue versus a building. So same thing, just different dimensions, different object. 11 looks different, so let's do that guy. A ladder that is 10 feet long leans against the side of a house. Okay. The angle of elevation of the ladder is 85 degrees. Find the height from the top of the ladder to the ground. I'm gonna copy paste this to the chat box. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. So this is the picture I'm trying to see here. So the ladder is 10 feet long. It's against some wall, right? So this is, I'm assuming this is the 10 feet ladder. It says the angle of elevation is 85 degrees. So this is what I'm hearing. 85 degrees. Don't know why I wrote it all weird. So 85 degrees is the elevation angle. This is a right angle. So they want to know the height, find the height from the top of the ladder to the ground. So they want to know this side. So this is the thing they're asking for. So what is the ideal trig function?
Cosine,
Cosine,
opposite over hypotenuse.
you're right on the second part. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So yeah, you're right. We need the opposite side, right?
Okay.
So there we go. Right. So sine of 85 degrees is equal to the opposite, like you said, over 10. Solve for x. Multiply both sides by 10. X will equal 10 sine 85. What is that approximately? Base it to round to 1 decimal place. So about 10 feet. Any question on this problem? Okay, it's pretty much just for 7, I think that was. Yeah. There's a couple of definitions I want you to look at the beginning. But other than that, the rest are just same type of deal here. All right, let me see where we are on the schedule. 1 second.